It is a few days to Zimbabwe's 44th independence, and on this week's episode of Economic Forum, we will be looking at the state of Zimbabwe's agriculture amid antagonistic factors such as climate change resulting in drought, as evident in the President Dr. Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa's declaration of the 2023-2024 agricultural season as a national disaster. This is Economic Forum, and I'm your host, Cynthia Jikaramba. Since obtaining independence in 1980, the nation has gone through significant transformation aimed at remodeling governance structures from those of colonial powers. The agriculture sector is one of the sectors that witnessed significant transformation, chief among them being the Land Reform and Redistribution Program, which saw black majority farmers attain land. Zimbabwe's agriculture was, however, hard hit by a series of droughts which resulted in the decrease of agriculture produce. This necessitated, under the Second Republic, the adoption of climate-smart agriculture techniques such as fumvudza, growing of drought-resistant crops and traditional grains such as millet, sorghum, rapoko, and groundnuts. Practice intensive horticulture farming using various irrigation methods. This phenomenon is, however, yet to be understood by many. In Ward 13, Makonde District, Mashonaland West Province, Mrs. Mada is reaping the benefits of such practices. Having prioritized growing groundnuts and sorghum, she is looking forward to a great harvest despite the ravaging effects of the El Nino-induced droughts.
Empowerment yavari kutipa nesimba ravari kupa kumadzimai kuti tinosana kushanda napresident wedu waMnangagwa. Toda kuvatenda kuti tinosana kurima zvirimwa zvinoshingirira muzuva. Tofunga tiri kuzviona kuti mwaka waita sei wachinja. Tofunga tiri kuona kuti nzungu idzi dzatakarima idzi dziri kushingirira muzuva, hazvizoenzani nechibage. Tofunga tiri kuona kuti kune zuva, asi kana tiri mumunda muno mutoona sekuti tiri kudiridzira, asi hatisi kudiridzira. Hatina kana chatakamboisa kana fertilizer. Asi nzungu dziri kushingirira. Tinongoda kutenda president vedu naamai nemukana wavakatipa 44 years tichipiwa minda kuti tishandise kudai. Tarisai zviri kuitika kunyange mvura isina kunaya. Asi tarisai nzungu dziri pano dzakarimwa nemadzimai naamai Mada vepano paShepherd Farm. Tiri kukurudzirwa nehurumende yedu kuti tiite inonzi smart agriculture. Sezvo zvinhu zviri kuita zvichinja. Mwaka yedu iri kuita ichichinja, asi tarisai zviri kuitika. Kunyange kwakatsva, mungazvifungire here kuti gore rino kwakatsva. Muchiona green iripo. Aiwa, tinoda kuzvitenda.
Tinozviitira kurima nzungu idzodzidzi, torima mapfunde kuitira pamwaka yatakusangana nayo makore ano. Zvimwe tinogona kuita losi nenyaya yezuva nokuti gore rino hazvina kutifambira zvakanaka, asi pari pamunda uno wenzungu tiri kutarisira kuti gore rino tinogona kuwana pundutso.
This year we are very fortunate that we are celebrating 44 years of independence, self-rule. Now, it's a journey. Just like families, when one is 44 years old, he is still learning. He is less than 50 years. There are still areas where he has to be exposed to. So this is why we are saying today, under our leader, His Excellency, President E.D. Mnangagwa, we are pleased to say that we are part of that revolution, that transformation to Vision 2030. These are ordinary Zimbabweans, anchored on the land, technical skills extended by the Ministry of Agriculture through the respective officers, not at provincial or district level, but at ward level. We commend our government and indeed our minister for this very wonderful program. Yes, climate change is real. It's now factual. This is a very difficult year for our nation, but we must learn from this experience. It's no longer enough to do cereals alone. You need horticulture products like organic garlic, organic ginger, organic turmeric. You need other crops like oil seeds. You need your groundnuts, which we are seeing here. They are doing much, much better despite the enormous heat. So we are now saying, as a nation, let's adapt and change. This is a family business, managed professionally, but underpinned by the sacrifice of yesterday. Men and women died for this land. We are fortunate to till it today. Let's do it with the spirit of being, I'm Zimbabwean. I'm doing it for not just my family, not just my ward, not just my district, not just my province, but for my nation.
Community members, including the youths, were inspired by such practices.
What we are urging mostly, to my youth, let's intervene tikwanise kupinda ma-programs iwo anokwanisa kuita kuti tikwanise kusustain ma-dry spill yatiri kuexperience during the season. Takakwanisawo kupindawo ma-horticultural crops anenge atorimo ana organic ginger, organic turmeric and organic garlic kuti tikwanise kusustainawo ma-needs edu atenchidawo sema-youth. And then there is these other crops atiri kuitwa pano pa-farm and include all my traditional grains, ananzungu, and then sunflower. Iwo arivo futi ezwo anoitwa se cash crop, and zvinoita kuti sema youth tiko kwanisa tirambe tine financial status kedu kani karina.
On that note, we take a short break. Do join us in the second segment of Economic Forum. We are now in the second segment of Economic Forum, and we are looking at Zimbabwe's agriculture at 44, highlighting climate change mitigation techniques being encouraged by the government. In Ward 5, Marondera District, Mashonaland East Province, the Karumazondo family is among the beneficiaries of the Land Reform and Redistribution Program brought about by the country's independence. Since then, they have enjoyed the benefits of land through farming and witnessed the constant evolution of agriculture practices to involve the growing of high-value export crops such as organic ginger, turmeric, and garlic.
When I bought this farm, it was just after independence. 1980 we got our independence. And because of that government, Baba Mugabe, who allowed us breaks to buy commercial-owned farms. And we were getting our loans from AFC. That was done deliberately to support the brick farmers. I thank our independence because it came out with fruits that we are enjoying today.
I want to wish Zimbabwe happy 44 years of independence. My dad bought this farm in 1984, so we are celebrating 40 years of being on the farm. So I grew up seeing my dad growing tobacco, maize, and potatoes. But 2 years ago, we learned of a new crop called organic turmeric, and we started growing this crop. As you can see, the crop is very good. We are learning. We'll never stop learning. And we are so grateful that we got a chance to learn about organic products.
This crop is purely organic, no fertilizers, no chemicals. Therefore, what we have decided at this farm and as a family is to make sure we have enough goats, enough cattle, to make sure we have enough manure then to use on such a crop. So as you see with these plenty goats, the way we have styled our pens for the goats is to make sure we harvest our manure, and all the manure that are coming from the goats, we'll definitely use them at this crop. So yes, as Zimbabweans, let's use what we have. Let's enjoy the beauty of all these fruits that we know that are in the bushes. No one is putting any fertilizers, no one is putting any chemicals. Therefore, we take that same method to bring it into our own farm now.
Our forefathers fought a war to access land. And today we are on Karumazondo Farm, Ward 5, Marondera District, Marsh East Province. Deliberately, we have development anchored at ward level. And we thank the Second Republic for highlighting that aspect. Yes, we are Zimbabweans, but we come from respective provinces, districts, and wards. We are here today in Ward 5. So Ward 6 must ask the question, you, the councillor, what are you doing for us? We hear things are happening in Ward 5. Ward 7 will echo the same thing. That's developmental. That's the marathon to Vision 2030. The major lesson here is that the owner of this farm has been 40 years on this farm. Not only that, he's still learning. Yesterday he was growing tobacco, he was growing potatoes, he was growing wheat, he was growing maize, but he's still hungry. Hunger is still there to grow additional crops. Today, at 44 years, we are facing a different challenge. Climate change is real. Drought is a fact of life now. What do? This crop, organic ginger, organic garlic, organic turmeric, these are industries. In fact, an insurance policy, if you like. Because if you grow 1 hectare successfully of this crop, you earn much more dollars, US dollars, than a guy or a farmer who has done 70 hectares of maize. I give that as an example. So we are doing research. And here we must highlight the significance of a structured approach being implemented under farming by His Excellency Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa.
These organic crops have proved to be more profitable even on small pieces of land.
I am very happy to tell other guys that if you can't do other crops, do this organic turmeric, organic ginger, organic garlic. You do it at a very small place, but you make your money. You get a living. The young ones, the young couples, you can send your kids to school without trouble. Istagarima, I did what I did during my time. Potatoes, wheat, maize, peas, some export. But I didn't realize what I'm going to get from this crop.
I am a student of University of Zimbabwe. I studied plant breeding and biotechnology in crop science department. I would like to inspire all youth out there. I know life is difficult after graduation, but with these crops, I've noted that this is doable. You can start even with a small area, as small as 100 square meters, but from that small area, you can earn up to $450 US. We are very fortunate that we acquired land from our fathers. So let's make use of this land and earn a living out of it.
Farmers from other provinces are also learning from this and are looking forward to replicate the same in their respective farming areas.
I'm here at Karumazondo Farm, Ward 5, Marondera District. I went to inquire on organic garlic, ginger, and turmeric. I'm here as a potential grower. I'm here to learn. The crop that I saw here, I think this is my first time seeing this crop. What inspired me most is that when I got here, I saw this crop. This is reality. I heard about it. I didn't know people could have such a crop without using fertilizers. This is organic.
The government of Zimbabwe is pushing the agenda of value addition and beneficiation in a bid to maximize value to the farmer.
I'm particularly pleased that the language, the vocabulary coming from State House now is encouraging. The Honorable Vice President, Comrade Chiwenga, highlighted as he was officially opening the tobacco season for this year, to say, look, Zimbabweans, it's not enough to celebrate selling our tobacco on the ocean floors. We want value out of this crop. Why are we habitually shipping value out of our land? This is encouraging vocabulary. It coincides with Education 5.0. Comrade Murwira is on record to say, look, let's add value at source. The days should be numbered for shipping tobacco annually beyond our borders. 95% of the value exits our borders officially. No, we are saying, meanwhile, right now, let's take mitigatory measures. That company which is importing We must, as Zimbabweans, take up equity in that company. Whether it's 5%, 10%, 15%, it's a mitigating measure. We are already participating at value, earning dollars outside our borders. Those days are numbered, and it's us under Education 5.0 as we turn 44 to reflect as a nation and say, look, that was done yesterday. Today, the formula is to take up equity in Ottawa, in London, in Washington, in Beijing. That's what we must do, because they are only, those companies existing because they're extracting value from Africa, from SADC, from Zimbabwe, from Ward 3. That's what we are talking about.
We take another short break. Join us in the third and final segment of Economic Forum. Welcome back. We are now in the third and final segment of Economic Forum. In the previous segments, we looked at various climate-smart agriculture practices aimed at evading the effects of climate change and in the process uplifting rural communities. These programs have since attracted various investment partners within the SADC region. Recently, a delegation from Botswana, accompanied by the Botswana ambassador to Zimbabwe, visited the country and toured various agriculture sites with the objective of replicating these projects in their home country. This was another opportunity for strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries.
When I was presenting my credentials to His Excellency Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, I had an interview after the presentation of credentials. And the first thing that I talked about was that I want to see Zimbabwe and Botswana growing to be and working together to be investment and trade centers of the region. And I can see such projects like this developing our two countries to be supplying supplying the region with the agricultural produce. So I can see this as a dream come true. It's a beginning. It's just a portion of it, and I'm so committed with dealing with the grassroots level. I've come here with a team that comes from home. It's a team that is led by Botswana Investment and Trade Center, and it's made up of Ministry of Agriculture, Special Economic Zones, and other departments. I see this type of project going to benefit a lot of people. Like, for example, at home you'll find that most of the time in the rural areas people form cooperatives. Government is encouraging the communities to form cooperatives and come up with very viable projects. So a project like this is going to bring the people together. It unifies the communities. Secondly, it doesn't leave anyone idle. And thirdly, definitely there is going to be income earning out of the harvest that is going to be taken from their work. So I see it as a major development, especially to those who are employed or those who are less privileged. And even to those who are able. Nowadays we have our graduates, our young people getting into agriculture. So I believe that this is one way in which they can be able to venture into agriculture, make associations and groups, and be able to produce for the country. I can see a lot of import substitution out of it.
We are also here to generate potential investment leads. We are quite happy with what we have seen so far. We think the investments or projects that we've met are quite promising. We learned quite a number of things from them, some of which we think we should be able to go and replicate back at home. So far, we've been very much impressed with what we saw, and we think we stand to benefit quite a lot from what we have seen so far. And the interactions and the feedback that we have received, it's quite very an interesting one. And we can only thank the organizers of the mission here, and we hope to see them again. As a continent, if we collaborate with each other, if we cross-pollinate, share ideas, conduct two-way investment promotion activities, do joint investment promotion efforts, and of course encourage joint partnership between companies that are existing between the two countries. We stand to benefit quite a lot, hunting as a pack and doing it as a joint effort, other than going at it alone.
We are here on a mission with Botswana Investment Trade Center to, come and see, or looking for investors that are willing to expand to Botswana. So the Special Economic Zones Authority is responsible for all the special economic zones in the country, and these special economic zones, or SEZs, these are geographically delimited areas where the rules and regulations that govern those areas are different from what pertains in the national space. So in Botswana we have about 9 special economic zones, 3 of which are agric-based. So with our visit today, I realized that they specializes in pulses and cereals. So we have a special economic zone that specializes or deals with cereals and pulses. So what I like is that they are for community development or rural industrialization, which is aligned to what we want as the Special Economic Zones Authority.
We hosted a pioneer team from Botswana, a friendly sister SADC country. We have much to learn from them. They will certainly learn from us. So today we thought, let's be ourselves. Culture means a lot to us Africans. And our culture was disturbed, interfered with, tampered with. We want to restore it through deeds. When we say culture, we mean language, we mean food, we mean clothing. And we are found wanting, especially Southern Africa, on that. So today we said, look, food intake is important. Climate is a threat to food security on our continent, within our region, SADC, and indeed our respective countries. What do we do? So we were looking at alternative channels, alternative ways to maintain food security within our respective countries. Now we are talking about crops which will survive in this heat era, which is now the norm. We are also saying, let's use nature. Nature is organic. Organic food is healthy. We are speaking to our health. And here we are saying there are crops under horticulture, organic garlic, organic ginger, organic turmeric. These are high-value crops which will bring revenue into respective families, villages, communities. When you impact a community positively, there are benefits, generational benefits. And we are saying here, we as a nation, there is chemistry, wonderful chemistry between our two leaders, and wonderful chemistry between the two first ladies. We want even better chemistry among us, the business community and the government officials.
The relations between the two countries are testament to their commitment to creating a conducive environment for trade and investment to uplift the livelihoods of people, especially those in rural areas. The onus is now on citizens themselves to take up the challenge and strive to make their nations a better place. This brings us to the end of this week's edition of Economic Forum. For your views and comments, do not hesitate to get in touch with us on the details appearing on your screen. From me, Cynthia Shikaramba, and the crew behind the scenes, happy 44 years of independence.